Make sure to follow me on Instagram at Lindsay_Lou12, on Twitter at LNGGames, and on Roblox at LindsayLou12. Links will be down in the description below. Hello, my name is Lindsay, and in today's video, I'm going to do a very requested video, and we're going to show you all of the Royale High heels from tallest to shortest. And before we do that, the comment shout out goes to Starry. If you like a comment shout out, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification, and you might become the next comment shout out. And we won nothing. That's okay. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to give you guys a quick rundown on how I made this list, because I did have to measure the heels myself. So what I did was I got another account and I put on all the heels, and we measured up to each other, like putting us back to back so we can check our heights. And I made sure we had on the same hairstyle, which is the hairstyle we have on right now. So now let's go ahead and go through all the heels from tallest to shortest. The tallest heels in the game are the fluttering butterfly heels, and look how tall we are compared to somebody who is not wearing any heels. Next is the Gothic Cutie heels. Now, these are only the second tallest if you have them, toggled to the tall version. Otherwise, they will be shorter. And this is the height of the Gothic Cutie compared to the fluttering butterfly heels. As you can see, we are almost the same height. Next is the Midnight Strike Pop Star heels, and as you can see, them compared to the Gothic Cutie, we're only slightly shorter than the Gothic Cutie. Next is the Summer Fantasy heels. Now, we did have to stand in a line because side to side it is hard to tell the height difference, but as you can see, there's only just a slight height difference between these two heels. Next is the Shadow Empress heels. Now, honestly, I'm surprised at the placement of these heels. I expected them to be taller, and as you can see, there is quite a bit of height difference here between the Shadow Empress and the Summer Fantasy heels. Next is the Princess Starfrost. I did leave the ice skate toggle on when I measured these heels. I was not sure if I were to toggle them off, it would change the height or not. So I did it with them on, and here is how close they are to the Shadow Empress. There is only a very slight difference. Next is the Dear Dolly heels, but they were very close to being the same height as the Princess Starfrost, but there is a slight height difference. But there is a shoe that is the same height as the Dear Dolly shoes, and that is the December Dream heels. And I did just do this on the first toggle. I wasn't sure if they change height based off of how you toggle them, so I just left them in this version, and they are the same height as the Dear Dolly heels, and I was surprised by that. Next, we have the Winter Guardian boots. I'm still kind of shocked that the December Dream heels are not lower on the list. But yeah, the Winter Guardian heels are shorter than the December Dream heels. Next is the Thigh High Ice Princess heels. These are another pair of heels I expected to be higher on the tall list, but here is the height difference. As you can see, there's only a slight height difference between the Winter Guardian and Thigh High Ice Princess heels. Next is and I'm pretty sure I pronounced these heels name wrong, so I'm sorry if I do that, but is the Monterey Tea Party heels, and there's actually quite a big height difference between these heels and the Thigh High Ice Princess boots. It's actually very noticeable. Next is the Darling Valentina heels, and the height difference is very, very slight. It's almost not noticeable. Next is the Royal Rebel shoes with only a slight height difference. The action booties are the same height as the Royal Rebel heels. Next Sky Mission boots. However, I do think they would be lower on the list, but for some reason my avatar floats in them. And so because of that, they are the same height as the action booties. Next is the Batmo Hills. I feel like the Batmo Hills would be above the Sky High Mission boots if those boots did not float. Honestly, these boots almost feel like they're cheating because they are floating, but that's okay. Next is the Kingly Kicks. I also feel like they should be lower on the list, but since they float, it makes them taller than what they actually are. And as you can see, they are almost the same height as the Batmo Hills. Next is the Jelly Platform Hills, but oh my gosh, look how much the Kingly Kicks float. Wow. And as you can see, there is like only a slight height difference between the Kingly Kicks and the Jelly Platform Hills. For these next hills, I had a hard time deciding on the height, so I decided that the adorable lace-up doll boots are the same size as the Jelly Platform Hills. I decided they're the same height because I'm having a difficult time deciding if one's taller or not. Next is the Sky High Ballet Butterfly Heels. They are shorter than the adorable lace-up boots by a slight difference. Next is the High School Lacy boots and socks. They are shorter than the Sky High Ballet Heels by just a little bit. Next is the Carol of the Elves booties. They are just a little bit slightly shorter than the High School Lace up boots. Just so much of a slight difference, I almost did not notice it. And next, the Cookie Cutter loafers are shorter than the Carol of the Elves booties by such a slight difference that they're almost the same height. And next, the pastel high tops and rainbow high tops are both the same height. I mean, it's kind of obvious because they're technically the same shoe. And the Reindeer Snuggly and the Huggly Snuggly boots are also both the same height. So at first, I thought the Cherry Blossom sandals were the same size as the Huggly Snuggly, but after looking at it closer, I can see they are just slightly taller. So the sandals, the Cherry Blossom sandals, are taller than the Huggly Snuggly. Sorry about that mistake. And all of the chicken leg heels, all the legacy heels are the same size, except, of course, the action booties, which we know are about the same size as the Royal Rebel heels. Outside of that, all of these are the same size. So that is all of the Royal High heels in tallest to shortest form. Make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on that bell notification so you never miss when I post. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!